Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Go ahead and touch it. Now lick your finger. So, you guys, this is something that originally aired on my Patreon page. So, my YouTube page, my Patreon page, which is mostly used to do whatever community work we can, and my memberships page all get different content. And this originally posted on my Patreon page. It had posted on, I think, like the exact anniversary, a year to the day of this incident that I'm about to show you guys. Although the incident is a year old, it is just coming back to light because the man who is in this tape was not able to get the body cam footage and really get a lawsuit started until now. So we are almost exactly a year to the day of this thing occurring. And for those of you who thought this title was clickbaity, oh no, it's not. It directly applies to like the first 30 seconds of this. What is amazing to me is it is only a 4-minute clip, but as quickly as the situation escalates, because one of these two men is a psychopath, I was just surprised. It really comes to show you how in a minute your life can change, and why we need to have a stronger hand in our community at speaking out against these things, and also letting it be known that we are simply not tolerating this. With that said, let's take a look at the clip. I'm gonna give my commentary through it, but I will also play it in its entirety toward the end. Feel free to rip the end of this video so that you can have the clip yourself and share it, because this is insane and this man deserves every penny that he's asking for.
Show me primary on this. Plan 636. 10-4, 359, you get 22. 409, type 4.
I'm gonna go in there and Torrence, male subject urinating. Take a plate. Indian organization, Tom Paul, 831. There we go, boss. You gotta find somewhere else better to pee than this.
I'm good, boss.
You got your ID on you, my man?
For what?
Because there's no parking allowed here either, especially urinating in public.
That's not happening. That's...
All right, go ahead and touch that with your finger, that little puddle of water.
Sure. What's the problem?
All right, now lick it.
Lick it.
Go ahead and touch that with your finger, that little puddle of water.
Sure. What's the problem?
All right, now lick it.
Lick it.
I told you. I know you guys are dirty-minded. I know you guys are sick. I know you guys are sick. And you thought I was clickbaiting in this title. But I was not clickbaiting in this title, okay? This man told him. He thought he had peed on the ground. He told him to touch it, stick his finger in it, and then lick it. Y'all, we are a whole 30 seconds into this clip, and clearly there's about to be a problem, because this officer is mad disrespectful.
Go ahead and touch that with your finger, that little puddle of water.
Sure. What's the problem?
All right, now lick it.
Lick it.
Yeah.
Did you just... hold on.
See,
I gotta record this.
Because if it was water, you wouldn't be doing that. Yeah.
Did you just... hold on.
See,
I gotta record this.
Because if it was water, you wouldn't be doing that.
If it was water, he wouldn't be doing that, fool. Who is going to stick their finger in a puddle of water that is on the road that people drive on and then put that crap in their mouth? If it was water, he wouldn't be doing that? What does that mean? I was not aware that part of policing was having people put their hands in dirty puddles and then ingest the water. That is some crazy crap.
Record it all you want.
I just had an officer just walk up to me.
Because no one's gonna lick pee. No one's gonna lick pee.
Who's gonna lick dirt? You think because I'm black I'm gonna sit here and touch some dirt and lick it?
Valid point. Who's going to lick dirt? What kind of test is this? If you don't want to lick dirty water, you must be peeing there. What he saw was a man pulled over on the side of the road who was black, and he's on a power trip. Now, okay, like, all right, let's just take race out of this, because I know some of you are like, race? Everything I have to do? Okay, fine. Taking race out of this, is this not a problem?
I drive past and you're standing like this, and I can see water. Yeah, when I drove past. I'm sitting here organizing stuff in my truck. I had to move stuff around. Do you have your ID in you? Because there's no parking here.
Why don't you call your chief out here? Call your chief out here, because now I have a problem.
Smart. Smart. Don't deal with the ignorant one, okay? Don't deal with the ignorant one. Call your chief, because clearly we're on some weird stuff. You're telling me to stick my finger in dirty puddles and eat the water and stuff. It's time for us to get somebody else with sense involved. Somebody not on a power trip. But this officer's not trying to hear that.
You're going to sit here because right now you walk up to
urinating.
Me. I'm not urinating.
What's that foamy water right there? There ain't no foamy water anywhere else. That's what happens when you pee in the gravel.
You know what happens when you know what? Call your chief.
Do you have your driver's license or anything on your ID?
No, I don't. You need to call somebody out here. Call some. I need you to call chief out here.
Well, I'm gonna write you a ticket, and I'll call him when I get back in my car. All right?
You gonna write me a ticket?
Yes. So I need your driver's license or ID card.
For what?
Because I need to know who I'm writing the ticket to.
For what?
Parking where prohibited.
Is there a sign? Okay.
Yes.
Where's the sign?
Well, that one got knocked over, but there's signs posted over there.
There's no sign. If there's a sign, if I'm not allowed to stop here, then fine.
First of all, I love this man. I'm sorry, the lighting is going freaking crazy, y'all. First of all, I love this man. I love this man. I don't see a flaw in anything he did. The only thing he could have done was actually lick his finger and go along with this crazy cop. But we can't all be punks out here. Like, you know, if police officers can get away with behaving like this, can you imagine the crazy crap they'll start doing? Like, clearly this man is already on a power trip. Clearly this man is already on a power trip. We have to shut this stuff down in the moment. And this was very brave of him because he actually got arrested. But he asked for his supervisor. He refused to give him his ID, which, you know what, if you're not committing a crime and he wasn't actually driving, I don't see a problem with that. But what I will say is this. For me, I don't like to carry identification around with me like that, because if you have a government or state issued ID, it's technically property of the state or the government. And you do have to give that to an officer of the law when they ask you for it. Technically, like, that's the law of the land. So me personally, if I don't need it, I like to roll without it. Like, if I'm gonna have it with me, I'm gonna be willing to give it up. Most of the time I try to roll without it, but that's like a whole nother conversation about consensual and non-consensual contact with police officers. With that said, he tries to pull something else out because the officer at this point knows that he is not really in a position to be bothering this man, right? So then he tries to switch it up. So the P thing is obviously not going to work. So then he tries to switch it up. He's like, well, you're not supposed to be parking here. He's like, there's no sign. This fool's going to say the sign is knocked down. Well, a non-existent sign is a non-existent sign. Everybody knows that. So he's going to point across the street, and I think it's like a 4-lane street. He's going to point across the street and be like, there's a sign on the other side of the street. Nah, that sign on the other side of the street doesn't apply to this side of the street. He knows this, but the officer cannot just take this L, so he keeps going.
All right. I don't have a problem moving my vehicle, but you need to call.
And you're urinating in public.
Sit here. No, I'm not.
I just witnessed you urinating in public. And you're urinating in public.
Sit here. No, I'm not.
I just witnessed you urinating in public.
Not.
Now, ask anybody. The reason why officers of the court and law enforcement officials are considered the best witnesses is because they have so much integrity. They're not gonna lie, right? They're better than the rest of us. He literally just said he sat there and saw this man pee, knowing damn well we have seen this cam footage. He has not seen anything, and this man knows he hasn't seen anything. But again, he won't take this L, and he's about to switch it up real quick because he knows that he's lying. So he's going to try to, flip the script.
All right, then what was that water trickling down when I drove past here?
You see all this rain out here? Sweetie,
I don't see any rain at the moment.
Give me a second. I got to record this because I got this white officer out here, and he just sat here. This is so disrespectful.
All right, I got my sergeant on the way. Do you have your ID on you? What's your last name, sir?
Don't worry about it.
Sir, what's your last name?
Sergeant.
This is your last chance. You're going to go to jail. Do you understand that?
For what?
For obstructing identification.
Okay, so he said for obstructing identification. That is a law, so this happened in Illinois. Obstructing identification is a law that Illinois has. And the law goes a little something like this. I'll probably insert it. Essentially, you can't lie about who you are to a police officer. So it's nothing about not giving your name, because it's perfectly legal to not give an officer your name. You don't have to tell them crap. You don't have to talk to them at all. So obstructing of information is when you lie about your information. You lie about your personal information. This man has said, I'm just not giving it to you. So he hasn't lied. So he really hasn't broken any laws. This officer knows that. He's just a psychopath.
What is your last name?
I'm not obstructing anything.
I'm asking you your name.
Not
I have a lawful
anything.
reason.
You have no lawful reason. I haven't done anything
Come here.
wrong.
Come here.
Sir, call
Get
your
over here
chief
now.
out here. Don't touch
Come
me.
here. Come here.
Don't.
Come here.
Don't touch me.
Turn around, place your hands
Don't
behind your
touch
back.
me.
You're under arrest.
Hold it.
He's really smart. He doesn't turn his back to the officer. Y'all don't ever turn your back to them. He never turns his back to the officer, but he puts his hands up and he backs away slowly. And he says, don't touch me, don't touch me. This is probably the wisest thing he could do. Again, because option B is licking up dirty water and being drugged to jail for something you didn't do. In a lot of cases like this, people will say, well, you should just do what the officer says. Clearly something is wrong with this officer though. 30 seconds in, he's telling this man to lick dirty water from the ground off his finger. So this man's mind is twisted. You can't just cooperate with somebody who's a crazy person. That makes little to no sense. So he's backing away. Don't touch me, don't touch me. He's backing away slowly. He's showing his hands. At some point, you'll see him place his hands behind his head. All of these things to de-escalate the situation, but not leave himself vulnerable to who is essentially a crazy person. Also, this officer seems to not want to call his superior to the situation for obvious reasons.
Hands behind your back. You're under arrest. Turn around, place your hands back.
I'm a
You're
law
under
enforcement
arrest.
officer. Hold
hands
it.
behind
Hold
your
tight.
back. I will tase you. Hands
For
behind
what?
your back. I will tase
For
you.
what?
Put your hands
For-
behind
are
your
you
back.
recording?
You are under. Yes, I am. Put
For
your.
what?
Turn
Please
around.
call
Place
your
your hands
sergeant.
behind your back.
I'm gonna wait for your sergeant.
Turn around. Place your hands behind your back.
I'm gonna stand here and wait for your sergeant to come.
Turn around.
I'm gonna
place
stand
your
here and
hands
wait
behind
for
your
your
back.
sergeant. I'm gonna stand here and wait for your sergeant to come.
Give me your hands. Behind your back. I'll send my dog.
Man, this man is the truth, y'all. Why did he pull the taser prongies out of his body? I would feel very safe with this man. And honestly, I think he would have beat this officer into the dirt if it would not have gotten him in trouble because he's an officer. You know, this whole idea that police officers are infallible and, you know, you should just cooperate with everything they say. No, they're people too. And a lot of them are trash, as we are quickly learning. But the way he pulled those out of him, he was just like, be tasing me. So if you think it can't get worse though, the officer takes it up another notch. I mean, he starts with stick your finger in a dirty puddle and lick the water off of your finger. And he ends with tasing him, and then, watch this.
Done anything wrong.
Now!
I'm gonna wait for
Now!
your sergeant to come. Please don't have that dog bite me. I'm gonna wait for your
On the ground now!
I'm gonna wait
On the ground now! Take him!
I'm gonna wait for your sergeant.
Hands! Take him!
I'm gonna wait for your
Hands behind your
sergeant to
back now.
come. I'm gonna wait for your sergeant to come.
Oh, the dog is biting me! Hands behind
The
your
dog
back
is
now!
biting me.
Hands behind your
The
back
dog
now!
is biting me.
Hands
Will you
behind
stop
your
your
back
dog
now!
from biting me? Will you stop your dog from
Hands behind
biting
your
me?
back!
Will you stop your
When you
dog?
put your hands behind your
Will
back!
you stop your dog
Hands
from
behind your
biting me?
back!
Will you stop your dog from biting me?
Smart. He repeats himself. This is a smart man. It's a disgusting situation, but that's a smart man. He deserves every penny that he can get. This is insane. This situation, I cannot believe that this occurred And there are going to be people, again, that say he should have just done everything the officer said. But for the first 30 seconds in, you could tell this officer's mind is not right. His mind is not right at all. And the things he wanted this man to do are just inappropriate. The way the situation escalated, it is scary to me. It is really important with the whole Ahmaud Arbery thing that's going on, that I feel like our people not get sucked into these traps where, you know, we go along with gun control, we start voting for individuals that want to limit our rights as citizens. We have a lot happening now in the country with the government really overstepping their bounds. I'm going to make a whole separate video about this, like with the fact that no laws have been passed that force us to stay in our homes. This is all done by, you know, gubernatorial edict, essentially, or a decree that's given the force of law because it's an emergency. And, you know, this idea that we cannot congregate, that we, you know, they want to disarm us, that, you know, they are basically running around with impunity. This has been a building situation where we watch law enforcement and we watch the government push and push and push against our individual rights. And the problem with this is, whilst they're pushing against the collective rights of the American people, who sits in what position on this totem pole, and who is going to get the absolute deep down dirtiest treatment as they push back our rights? Those of us who'll suffer more from it, I think we have to be more cognizant of making sure that we aren't manipulated and that we push back against these egregious actions. We stand with each other and all of that. I'm going to talk a little bit about, because a lot of people ask, because for those of you who are not new to my channel, you know that I believe in revolutionary action. So I believe that we should be armed. I'm in support of these armed protests, you know, all of those sorts of things. You guys are aware of that. And so I definitely had a couple of people come and ask me if I was in any way, shape, or form affiliated with a group that went out to where Ahmaud was killed and the armed march through the neighborhood. They went to the man who filmed house and things like that. And I'm going to do a whole separate commentary on that situation, who was involved in that situation, and what I honestly think. But I want to say this: as a community, we should stop being reactive. We have to be proactive. So we need to get behind and publicly speak, not just about the things that outrage us, like the Ahmaud situation, but about these small incidents as well. We must get the power in this country in check. If there's not going to be socio-political revolution, then what there definitely needs to be is there needs to be an understanding. So for those of you who are not pro-revolution, then what we definitely need to have is we need to have a climate where we make it clear that this sort of behavior is unequivocally unacceptable and it will not be tolerated. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and play the full clip, but be looking out for a video. I'm going to talk about the many governors and mayors who have been overthrown, because several have been overthrown during this period of time. Some of the armed protests that are going on, specifically honing in on those with Black people representing, and, you know, just what I believe we need to do as a community as far as mask on, mask off. And those of you who are on my membership page, you know what I mean about mask on and mask off. I'm going to just close with this clip. I think this clip speaks for itself in its entirety. And I encourage you to let your rage be righteous and serve a purpose. And don't let that anger fizzle out and not go to use. So with that said, this very uncomfortable 4-minute clip. Arm yourselves.
Can you show me primary on this? Okay. Plan 636. I can take
Start trying to
10-4, 359, you get 22. 409, type 4.
Somebody had going there in Torrence, male subject Organization. Tom Paul, 831. There we go, boss. You gotta find somewhere else better to pee than this. It's like,
I'm good, boss.
you got your ID on you, my man?
For what?
Because there's no parking allowed here either, especially urinating in public.
That's not happening. That's
All right, go ahead and touch that with your finger, that little puddle of water.
sure. What's the problem?
All right, now lick it.
Lick it.
Yeah.
Did you just hold on?
See,
I
that's
gotta
piss.
record this.
Because
I
if
gotta
it was
record
water,
this. Hold on,
you wouldn't be doing that.
Hold on.
Record
Wait
it.
a minute.
Record
I
it all
just
you
had
want.
an officer just walk up to me.
Because
tell me
no
touch
one's
the
gonna lick
ground.
pee. No one's gonna lick pee.
Who's gonna lick dirt?
Not
You
a-
think because I'm black, I'm gonna sit here and
It's
touch
got
some
nothing to do
dirt
with
and
race.
lick it?
When I drive past and you're standing like this, and I can
Drive
see
past.
water. Yeah. When I
I'm
drove
sitting
past,
here organizing stuff in my truck. I
All right.
had to move stuff around.
do you have your ID in you? Because there's
No, I
no
don't.
parking here.
Why don't you call your chief out here? Call your chief out here, because now I have a problem. You're
All right.
gonna sit here because right now you
Because
walk
you're
up to
urinating.
me. I'm not urinating.
What's that foamy water right there? There ain't no foamy
know
water
what?
anywhere else. That's what happens when you pee in the gravel.
You
All
know
right.
what happens when you know what? Call your chief
Do you have your
out
driver's
here.
license or anything on
No,
your
I
ID?
don't. You need to
What's
call
your last
somebody
name,
out
sir?
here. Call some. I need you to call chief
All right.
out here.
Well, I'm gonna write you a ticket and I'll call him when I get back in my car. All right?
You gonna write me a ticket
Yes. So I need your driver's license or ID card
for what?
because I need to know who I'm
For
writing
what?
the ticket to.
For what?
Parking where prohibited.
Where's,
all right?
Is there a sign? Okay.
Yes.
Where's
In
the
fact,
sign?
Well, that one got knocked over, but there's signs
Okay.
posted over there.
There's no sign. If there's a sign, if
All
I'm
right.
not allowed to stop here, then fine.
All right.